The call came while I was rinsing a plate, an ordinary plate, from an ordinary dinner, in an ordinary kitchen that suddenly felt too quiet. A number I didn't recognize, a hospital extension. Sir, you're listed as the emergency contact. Emergency contact for him. My wife's lover. The man whose name she whispered once in her sleep. The whisper that sliced my world clean through, even if she never realized it. The man I pretended I didn't know about. I felt the plate slip from my fingers. It didn't break. I did. I asked what happened. A car accident. He was alive. Barely. Alive enough to be visited. I said nothing for a long time. The silence stretched thin, trembling. Yes, I finally breathed. I'll come. I hung up the phone and stood still, letting the weight settle. It didn't crush me. It clarified me, like cold water hitting hot steel. I packed a small bag, not out of concern, out of curiosity. I wanted to look into the eyes of the man who thought he could take what was mine. I left the house without a sound, without a note, without a goodbye. My wife didn't notice. She was laughing in the other room, too easily, too freely. Let her laugh. Let her enjoy it while the world she built behind my back quietly fractured. The drive to the hospital blurred past. I felt strangely calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that scares even yourself, because it means there's no fear left, only intention. When I opened the hospital door leading to his room, I expected tubes, bandages, beeping machines. But what I saw, I dropped my bag. Because sitting at his bedside, holding his hand, wiping his forehead with trembling devotion, was my wife. She didn't see me at first. Her head was bowed, her fingers tracing soft circles on his wrist, like she used to do to me, back when I believed her touch meant something. I stepped inside, slowly. She froze when she heard my footsteps. Her head jerked up. Her eyes widened. Her mouth opened, then closed. A fish gasping on land. What are you doing here?" she whispered. I didn't answer. I just looked at her hand still resting protectively on his. She snatched it away like she'd been burned, but the damage was done. My suspicion, months old, festering quietly in the back of my mind, finally had shape. A silhouette, a heartbeat, a face. His. The man she defended in arguments, calling him just a friend. The man whose messages she deleted. The man who called late at night, only for her to step outside for air. And now, here she was, at his bedside. Not as a friend, not as a visitor, but as something else. Something intimate, something claimed. The scene was almost peaceful. Too peaceful. But beneath it, I felt the shatter, a silent implosion inside my ribs. She stood slowly, as if rising from a grave she'd dug herself. "I came because they called me," I said finally. "I didn't know you'd arrive first." Her lips trembled. "Good. Let's talk outside," she whispered. "No," I said. "This is fine." Her face blanched. She knew that tone, the quiet one, the controlled one, the one that meant the ground beneath her feet was no longer hers. I didn't confront her, not yet. I let the question hang in the air, heavy and poisonous. "Why are you here?" She couldn't answer. She didn't have to. The truth hovered between us, thick and undeniable, and I inhaled it slowly. The weeks that followed became a study in silence. She thought I'd forgotten what I saw. I let her think that. I watched her instead, quietly, meticulously. The late-night phone glances, the anxiety when messages came, the way she locked the bathroom door while checking emails. I moved like a shadow, gathering pieces of a puzzle she thought I'd never assemble. Phone records, bank statements, GPS logs, her messages, recovered easily from the cloud she forgot to secure. Patterns emerged, patterns she underestimated me enough to ignore. Then I went deeper. DNA envelopes, paternity tests, tiny plastic vials. Not because I doubted my son, he was mine, but because she needed to believe I doubted everything. I let her think the ground was cracking beneath her. I stayed calm. I stayed watchful. I let my silence work on her nerves like a slow, cold knife. Meanwhile, I planned the end. Not a violent end, a truth end. The kind that leaves no wounds on the skin, only fractures in the soul. The kind that can never be forgiven, never forgotten. She didn't know she was walking into it. That made it better. The evidence arrived on a Thursday morning, a plain envelope, unmarked, heavy with certainty. I waited until dinner. She sat across from me, pretending the world was normal, pretending I hadn't seen her holding another man's hand like a promise. I placed the envelope on the table. She paled instantly, as if the paper already knew her sins. "What's that?" she whispered. "Truth," I said. I didn't open it. I slid it toward her, slowly, coldly. Her fingers shook as she tore it open. She pulled out the photos, the printed messages, the hospital records listing her as primary partner. She looked at me with terror, pure, raw terror. "You knew," she breathed. "I know," I corrected softly. She collapsed into tears, heaving, shaking. I sat still. Her breakdown wasn't my concern. Her truth was. I took out my phone, opened my gallery, and showed her the villa in Switzerland, the one she didn't know I owned, the one I bought years ago with my own money, waiting for the right moment to decide who deserved to see it. She gasped. Then she understood. While she chased cheap affection in hospital rooms, I built empires in silence. Her voice cracked. You never told me." "You never asked." I stood, picking up my keys. "Where are you going?" she cried. "Switzerland," I said calmly. "Alone." She grabbed my arm. "Please, wait." I removed her hand gently. "You wanted a different life," I said. "Consider this your wish granted." I walked out before she could speak again. The house felt lighter behind me. Or maybe I did. I didn't look back. There was nothing worth turning toward. My phone vibrated. Once, twice, then endlessly. 71 missed calls. Her number, her panic, her regret. Too late. Some truths come quietly. Some truths slice. Mine did both. And as the plane lifted off, I realized something. I wasn't escaping her. I was returning to myself. And I felt nothing at all.